When I told him to go to bed, he did. I love you so much, and we want you to come home, and you're not in trouble. He said, "Good night, Mom, I love you." I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
Hey guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. In this video, we are going to dissect the Proudfoot's pleas for their boy, Sebastian back.
When I came in the picture, I mean, his tantrums were pretty bad. I mean, to the point, I mean, so I'm not dragging Seth, his mom, his sister, my wife. I'm not dragging people through the mud. So what is in the past is the past, and that really needs to die. And I'm saying that for everybody to hear, to include all parties involved with this situation.
JLR back to him again, and I hate to keep bringing him up because you're on here, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, and I want to.
No, that's fine. Isn't it?
Not JLR, but what I want to say is one other thing you have to take in consideration: him going to all these places, not just to help Sebastian, but all these other people. That's not free. You've got to remember that that's not free. So I'm just saying.
Right, but if I'm on his show, we're talking about my son's case.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. There is a situation of my son, not everybody else's. You know, and I know he's doing his thing, and I appreciate it. What I don't appreciate is some of the stuff he does put out there that when I've asked the guy, I said, "Do you have proof? Do you have physical evidence that I am anything what you say?"
Right.
And he doesn't. So then keep my name out of your mouth.
Right.
It's real simple.
And then just asking little simple questions, or whatever about your work and stuff. Like, did you talk to Sebastian, and stuff like that. But basically, I know it's a 3.5 hour drive. You was at work. Is there a reason that okay, so are you working now, or are you just taking off, or anything like that, like for a certain amount of time?
So is this to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you asking me that, or is one of your people?
No, I'm asking you that. I just wondered. Okay. Like, if you, I was just wondering, like, if you, like, are you, in fact, I'll turn my chat off for just a minute so I don't get
No, don't turn your chat off. Leave it on. It's fine.
Okay.
That way you can get all these questions coming in, because like I said, I told you, I gave you my word, I'd come on your show, I would answer questions. People ask the questions, but keep in mind, like I told y'all from the very beginning, I'm brash, I'm direct, but I'm respectful, and I ask for the same in everybody else.
Yeah, and I told them a while ago, just please be respectful, because I wasn't expecting this. Like, please be respectful, y'all, because...
So one thing right now, I'm going to tell you right now, really irks me with some of these folks that want to follow these YouTube, and I'm very honest about this. Somebody says I won't talk to men. It's not that I don't want to talk. Right. It's not that I don't want to talk to men. I have talked to more law enforcement men agencies in the past 24 days than I've probably ever talked to in my entire life. Same thing goes for women. So no, I don't have a problem talking to a man or talking to a woman. I appreciate everybody's assumptions or concerns, innuendos, whatever they want to be. But at the same time, I vet who I talk to. I'm not just going to open up and talk to anybody. And I will put this out there. JLR, everybody wants me to talk to this guy.
Give him a chance. That's just my honest opinion.
Right. Do you know why people don't want to give this man a chance?
Well, go ahead and tell me. I mean, I want your opinion.
So I'm going to tell you my personal opinion.
Okay.
Okay, this is my personal opinion. This is nobody else's, not my wife's, not anybody else's. My personal opinion.
Okay.
So I did my due diligence, and I read up on Jonathan Lee Rich. Excuse me. I've read up on him. Not necessarily the best character in the world. When you start reading, and the first thing comes up, everything that you can find on this individual. Now, I don't know him, Adam from Eve. I really don't. He don't know me, Adam from Eve. But when he opens his mouth and goes out there and starts spreading lies, and yes, lies, because unless you got hardcore evidence that I'm an abusive husband, abusive father, I've got a restraining order against me, unless you got proof, don't open your mouth, because it's real simple. I don't have any of that. Good luck finding it. I've never lied to y'all. I've been open and honest. People don't like my answers, so people want to come back with their own assumptions. And I'm so sorry that I can't open up and give you every little piece of evidence and every little detail that we know. I am terribly sorry. It sucks, because when it does and it can come out, my only question to everybody else is, when are you going to start issuing public apologies? That's not to you. That is to everybody that wants to come out and badmouth people that don't understand and don't have a clue what's going on.
When I was talking to Chris earlier, and him and I were messaging, and I asked him about DCS. And he said the only case that DCS has open is because Sebastian ran away.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh was going to call
ma'am.
me, and I accidentally punched a 3 instead of a 2 or whatever, and he jumped up here on
That's
panel.
fine.
And, he wanted to ask you something, actually. Sorry.
Fire away, man.
Well, so you and I we had messaged earlier on Facebook, and I had asked you about DCS, and you said that there were no other interactions with CPS or DCS except for Sebastian going missing, which I then told you, but that's not mandatory necessarily unless CPS was already involved. So
Now,
you're not
hold on.
really being honest.
Wait a minute. You asked me, because I'll read the messages to everybody in God and Country. You asked me if there was an active CPS case on Sebastian. That's what you asked. And I told you, yes, there was. Because the sheriff's department told us that they had to report it because he was missing. That's what you asked. Now, you also started to ask if there was another case. And there was no other case that I know of that's active. That's what you asked.
Josh?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, like I said, sir, I'm brash, I'm to the point, be respectful.
Can you hear
And
me?
I will tell you, and I'll be honest, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I got nothing to hide.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, he said, okay. Can you hear him, Josh?
I can hear him, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said, well, in the messages that I asked that it was pertaining to Sebastian's school, right? Like you just said. And you said, no, other than him going missing, no CPS cases. I don't know. I can't hear. Maybe that.
He didn't say anything.
Like I said, there's information that we still Even as of today, we had a meeting with law enforcement, and we've asked them verbatim, like, everything we've been saying, is there anything you want us to change? Is there anything new that we can put out? And honestly, they said exactly what y'all been putting out, the way you've been putting out is exactly what you need to do. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. You know, and trust me, it kills us because there's so... there's facts that we could put out there and it would put a lot of things to rest. But we can't because of, they say it can potentially cause issues to the investigation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he is basically vanished.
Okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Mhm.
So then mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Is there a reason that Chris hasn't seen him since? I know it had to do with the work, but like, why did he say he hadn't seen Sebastian since the 1st of February?
Because that's the truth. He hadn't seen him since the beginning of February.
I mean, is there a reason for that?
He's working 3.5 hours away. He don't come home after work.
So was he, I mean, and I'm not, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, was he gone for like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks or something like that?
He'd been gone since the beginning of February was the last time he was actually home. Christopher was actually home. And yes, he did see Sebastian when he come home.
Okay.
It's, it's just part of it when you work away, you see each other when you can, but he doesn't, it's a lot to travel back and forth all the time. Like, that's not a trip that you can make, to and from every day by any means.
Oh, I get that. That's not something you want to do every day. That would take up your whole time. But did he never come home on the weekends, like when you had Sebastian or anything like that?
Well, yeah, that's why he saw him in the beginning of February, but it wasn't every weekend.
Okay.
Because he works on weekends too a lot, so he can't just come home every weekend. But when he can, he does. He comes home and sees him.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good relationship.
Did he talk on the phone with Sebastian while he was at work?
He does. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that. Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has 2 kids that he talks to at school, but he is extremely socially awkward. And so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been this boy's only lifelong dream. I mean, he Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday, I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, hey, I'll be your friend and potentially cause harm. Green, it's got the goofiest and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could mimic it, to be honest with you.
He looks like he's such a sweet young man. He
Loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off. That's for
hey,
sure.
that's
He's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound. We as parents know how social media can be,
right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated.
Correction, thank you. And says something about exit 5. Are you guys close to exit 5?
No, well, that depends. You can access off of what they call New Shackle Island Road, which I believe is exit 6.
Yes, I see. Thank you, Mrs. Clem.
Yeah, I believe it's exit.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially off his medicine.
Miranda said outside his home, where's his most comfortable environment? Does he have a place like that?
His house.
This is over. However it ends, we have to live this life, not everybody else.
Quite frankly, Sebastian's going to find out what everybody's been saying about his parents, and I can't even imagine how distraught he's going to be, but we have to find him. I want to just side note, he's not clapping, y'all.
He's not what?
People keep saying that he's clapping. He's not clapping. That's just background noise.
Oh, I don't hear any. Yeah, y'all.
Some people have heard their clap, and that's fine. Yes, I'm currently working.
Yeah, y'all.
Now, where understand, people, where I work is really nobody's business. And I would hope you would respect that, because I'm not this criminal. I'm not this monster that everybody wants to believe.
Sunday morning we got up and I made a fun breakfast for us. Spaghetti pancakes. Google it, y'all. We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag, because that's something he likes to do.
There's Tom too. Do me a favor. I got to drop out of this. I got to make a phone call real quick, and I will be back. This is my call. I don't care. I don't miss this phone call because it's my daughter.
No, you go ahead.
Come back and hang tight. Give me about 5-10 minutes. I'll be right back.
You're fine. You're fine. We'll be here.
Is that good?
You're okay. Hold on.
Hello?
That's me. I'm gonna knock you off for a minute. You just come back when you're ready.
closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go. He did take medication nightly and daily.
Okay.
Just for HIPAA reasons, we will not disclose
I
what the
understand.
medication is.
I was just trying to.
Because no two kids are the same is why I'm asking.
That is you are nowhere far from the truth on that, because that is so correct. Sebastian is extremely high functioning. His weakness, he does not have a sense of personal space.
That he's scared of you. That he's scared of you, and that you're bullying him at home. And I don't like to ask these questions, but I feel like that this needs to be
I would actually
addressed
prefer
this
you ask.
because
anyone he could have contacted. I understand he was somewhat of a gamer, or what was he? There was a video game he loved, right?
Minecraft. He loves Minecraft. The game that he has is not online. He has the Switch.
We don't, because of how social media can be, he doesn't have accessibility to communicate.
And I don't wish you to ever know.
I would say it like this: everybody has an opinion, and it's perfectly okay to have that opinion, but you're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts. I guarantee you he is loved. And trust me, the open arms are waiting for him to come home. From every parent to every family members to probably everyone in the community. But there's no malice. That we just want our boy home. Badly. But I'm okay to address every bit of this.
okay.
So, you mentioned Sebastian's afraid of me. Well, that is a loaded question, because somebody who has released some information out there from another show, who I won't put his name out there, allowed somebody to say something. Now, mind you, when you have a teenage child or teenage children, all parents know this, your children are not going to like you, because you're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be a parent. And as parents, you have rules they have to follow. If they don't, there's consequences. Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something, and 20 minutes later will run up to me, throw his arms around me, cry, and say, "I'm sorry and I love you." So, when you get in trouble, of course you don't like your parents. He said the exact same things about his father, but that's when you set him down and say, "Look, bud, parents are parents, and we're going to have to." No, I've had a temporary protective order, and I had a no contact order placed against me in New Mexico with my ex-wife. Now, mind you, let me back up and I'll play the whole story for you. Me and my ex-wife, we actually lived here in Tennessee for a little bit. We had a daughter, and at the time, my daughter was only maybe 6 weeks old. An event took place while I was holding my daughter, and when that took place, I filed for an immediate protection order against her. We went to court. The court made their decisions. I gave my daughter back to her mother. And when she received her, she jumped in a truck and flew right back to New Mexico. Got to New Mexico within 2 days of being there. She turned around and filed the exact same thing against me in New Mexico.
The questions that I had up next was, have you both taken a polygraph test?
The results are passed.
Results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that both of you passed, or can you say?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was my question that was up next was, so you've both taken a polygraph test. That was some of the questions. I see a couple people asking that specifically. Did you take a polygraph test specifically? Chloe and Mo wanted to know specifically, could you elaborate? Did you take one and also pass?
I've got a question, and a lot of people.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially off his medicine.
Mm.
Groceries away because we bought snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. About 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you." And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
No.
No, first time.
He's not a child that wanders. He's not one that is
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children. But no, Sebastian, that's one thing, has always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner. His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache, but for the most part, he's a happy kid. And or
sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay, and that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what I can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from, but I can tell you, as the parents, we have seen the video firsthand from law enforcement. We know exactly where it was taken from.
oh God, that if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby, and we love you. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us from coming and getting you and bringing you home.
I can't speak for his father, but I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion, that we love you, miss you, we want you home, and if you can, call us, get wherever you can, let us know, and we will come get you.
Call 911, run out into the street, go in public, anything.
It is amazing because in the past couple of weeks, you've got 2 cases. A 15-year-old boy that has vanished without a trace. You've got a 22-year-old, 6'4" or 7" college kid from Missouri who has vanished without a trace. Like that's a huge significance here. That it's like, wow, how? So
It's scary.
yeah. And it's ongoing. It's every single day. People are people, and they have their opinions. Everybody is formulating their idea of what's going on and who's guilty and who's not guilty because they want to know, or they feel they need to know. There's a difference. Unfortunately, what I will tell you is that when you're the family in this position and you're working with law enforcement and everything's going the way it goes, people automatically assume this parent or that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you, every single parent has been vetted. I can't go into details, but I can tell you we have been vetted and we have been cleared of all. Please. And keep in mind, there's 3 parents and there's thousands and millions of people out there that may have a question. We are trying to get to them, I promise you.
Miserable, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Think of it like this. You wake up every morning and your routine is what it is and you know it, right? Now wake up when this happens and you can't figure out what to do. You struggle every single day on trying to get out of the bed, to deal and face everybody's negativity, you know, and you try to make it a positive thing.
Or the fact that my son's still not home.
You know, we have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty, except for when he's with his dad every other weekend. So now we have a child that's missing. So there's no words to describe it. But not one autistic child in this world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart. He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered.
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
He can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager.
He doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he gets really like aggressive stanced or like clipped where he just won't talk to you, or you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah,
Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits, which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatcher, who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight. There's no point in wasting time going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits, which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatcher, who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight. There's no point in wasting time going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
You guys were on a three-way call because you
Yes.
were not, you were coming from out of town. Is that correct?
We were on a three-way call.
Yeah, that law enforcement was called on a three-way call.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you all have camera footage in your home? I've heard people saying that too.
That is some information that we cannot divulge at this time due to the ongoing investigation.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wish we could, but unfortunately we can't.
I do have 4 or 5 more messages that just popped up that said they want to know that you definitely took a polygraph and passed because it got cut off by a different question and they feel like you did not answer that. So I'm just asking one more time. This is the last time, guys, I'm going to revisit this question.
Okay. For the record.
Mo, he said he passed it, according to Amy.
Well, hold on. Somebody asked the question, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who or when. But what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed. So I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. When law enforcement agency has come out and told everybody, even in the TBI news link, if you guys hadn't read that, please go out and read that. That's got a lot of great information in it, especially it's probably the most up-to-date information. But they will even tell you, at this point in time, they have no reason to speculate foul play, anything on the parents. Everybody's been extremely cooperative of anything and everything they've asked us.
Was there also a restraining order on the biological dad?
That was posted in a Facebook group.
Yes.
That someone sent to me. I think, no, that was something else. Let me find it. Someone sent that to me.
It was actually underneath JLR's video. It wasn't in the Facebook group.
Okay, so here's what I will openly say about that.
Oh, there it is. That's what somebody posted in the comments.
So what I will say on that is this. People go through divorces, and it is not the best of times. So I was not privy to that kind of information prior to my relationship with my wife.
About supposedly Sebastian's grandmother spoke out last night, and he said, Trev apparently quoted her from some comments on a YouTube chat. Is there anything that you want to say about this particular comment?
I will address it. Like I said, if somebody's refusing to address something that shows suspicion, I have no problems to address this. The grandmother, which is Seth, Robin is the name. She is Seth's biological father's mom. She made her statement on whatever YouTube channel. That's fine.
Thank you, Trev.
What I can say on that is real simple. Like I said earlier in this podcast, kids are going to say things. They're going to get upset because you're a parent and they don't like your answers. Sebastian has said, like I said before, the same thing about his biological father. But when you sit your kids down and you explain to them that being a parent, you have to do things that they don't like, unfortunately, it is what it is. We're not, as parents, everybody knows we're not to be our child's best friends. We're there to be parents. To clear up her statement about me being verbally abusive to her, unfortunately, she's not going to tell you the full story. But there's always, remember, 3 sides to the truth: hers, mine, and the truth in itself. So you can figure it out. Me and the grandmother had a conversation, and this all stems back to an incident that a family member did. That as the parents, we had consulted with law enforcement about something. They recommended not doing it. Lo and behold, something happened and something was done against what we decided. I reached out to the mom and asked for her help. During that conversation, some accusations got flung in my direction and toward my wife, which the mother or the grandmother actually doesn't have the whole story. She has never once sat down with me, my wife, her son, and gotten the full truth on everything. She's only heard one side of the story. And I can promise you, I've got text messages and I'm not afraid to show them. I'm not afraid to screenshot them and let the public see it. Now, I will say, unfortunately, none of this has to do with the investigation of our son.
Is there any areas that you and Katie want to have people that are out there searching, where you want them to be hanging flyers? What can you tell us about that?
Everywhere. Everywhere. For me to give you a designated area would suspect that we think he's in an area. Well, we don't know. So anywhere and everywhere. People be very vigilant. Please be vigilant. You'd be surprised at how complacent we as society get when we're not focused on things. We're so driven on our day-to-day functions that we forget about things that are going on around us. We're all guilty, myself included. Anywhere and everywhere you can look. If there's not a flyer and you can print one off and post it up where you don't see a flyer, please do. I'm speaking for all 3 parents and all the families. We would greatly appreciate that. We send prayers, our thoughts, and our love out to everyone. I promise you. If there was a way we could make it felt and we could show it, we would.
Be sure to check out my other videos and playlists for more true crime content. And if that's not enough, you can join our Patreon. Don't have a tinfoil hat? It's okay. We'll make you one. It's that easy. See you guys in the next video.
See you later. Bye.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially off his medicine.
Mm.